It'd be better on the other side.
I'll move it.
Alright, thank you. Yeah. I got lucky last night, but then getting out was a bit of a
Yeah, slow, and then it's like dark, and it's such a tight little car spot. I can see my car from here. I can hear it. All the rain is starting to cuddle up. Come through.
Well, it was into late. The game just started at 7:30.
Oh, why not? Yeah, drops isn't actually too bad. There's that little bit through,
Yeah.
you know.
It's not that much further than going to like Seymour Shore and shit, which I do quite a bit.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yesterday it took me forever. Just when I left, that's when Wollongong started storming. Fucking crazy. I thought they were going to cancel this game, but then as soon as I got out of Wollongong, the weather was fine. Oh, God, my shoulders. Every time I've been working in Sydney and Sutherland and shit, this year I've stopped at the end of the boulevard. There's that, what's it called? The big gas station there, right on the corner. Where it's like $2.
Yeah.
Yeah, just keep it straight up hot dog. I get it every time. I get an anything and a hot dog. And it's like $5 or like, what's a steal? It doesn't matter how bad it is either, it's for $5.
Yeah, exactly.
I decided last night I wasn't going to get a hot dog. Yeah, it's in a packet that says 7. That's good. I got a Red Bull with that. It rings it off. It's like 500. Not complaining. And he takes it out of the packet, puts it in his grill, heats it up, and it was like toasted and everything, gave it to me. Oh man. I think, yeah, perhaps.
I think he said please. That was the key. He's like, you know what?
Yeah.
Half the people that come in here, which is so rude.
Yeah, they just want
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to Rockdale Illingdon Sports Centre for Round 5 in the National Premier League's Men's New South Wales as Sydney FC take on Wollongong Wolves. These teams have experienced different starts to 2026. The young Sky Blues have been flying, while the Wolves have been struggling to make an early impression in the competition. My name is Tim Gibson. Let's have a look at the teams. Starting in goal for Sydney FC is Gus Hufslert. 3, Reef Farias. 8, Wataru Kamiju. 14, Jared Middleton. 17 is Samuel Lancaster. 19, Mitchell Glasson. Number 21 is Zach DeJesus. 22, Mateus McAllister. 27 is Lachlan Middleton. 29, Joe Lacey. And number 47 is Corey Cronin. Over to the Wolves team now, and Daniel Solsky is in goal. Number 4, Dylan Ryan. 5, Banri Kenaizumi. 8, Sebastian Duarte. 10, Flynn Madden. 11 is Sebastian Hernandez. 13, Tate Russell. 17, Marcus Beattie. Number 18 is Kazuya Yamamura. 24, Lachlan Scott. And number 25, Alex Mashivecchio. Well, our referee is Matthew Staples, and if you can't tell from the camera, just in time for kickoff, the rain has started to pour down. We had a bit of a drizzle earlier on, but it looks like it has set in now. And we're underway with both teams eager to pick up the points given the contrasting starts to the year. The Wolves in the red kit, while Sydney playing in the white. The Wolves will be hoping to repeat the trick of the under-20s fixture, which saw the Wolves pick up a 1-0 win as they get some early possession in this one. There's Yamamura wide for Tate Russell, who gets an early touch and tries to play it quickly, but cut out. Scott able to burst forwards here, Lachlan Scott, and that's Mashivecchio to the left. Here's Mashivecchio. It's a cross in, but it's cut out, and Lacey can poke it through for Glasson. As I mentioned for the Wolves, it's been a tricky start to this season, just the one win from their first 4 games. They've had a couple of tough games in there as we see Glasson make his way down the right. Plays for the overlap, cross in. Kenaizumi clears. Breaks for Scott, and it's a pocket of space to play it into Marcus Beattie's path, who will get there first. Gets a shot off, but deflected behind for a corner. Not a bad start for the Wolves. Well, the Wolves have been susceptible to slow starts this year, but this is very much the contrast in the first couple of minutes, getting the ball forwards and getting a couple of opportunities to break into the Sydney box. Madden coming across to take this set piece with it the chance to make an early breakthrough. Floated in towards the middle of the box, headed away only towards Yamamura. That volley though sent over the bar. Sydney, on the other hand, have had a very solid start to this season. 3 wins from their 4 games. The only blip really being the 4-0 drubbing from Western Sydney Wanderers in round 2. Some good wins as well over the likes of SD Raiders on the opening round of the season, followed by a win against Spirits and then Marconi most recently. So ending the Stallions' winning run to start this year, something the Wolves were unable to do in the previous round. Sydney looking to try and break forwards, and that's a nice pass. Down the wing, Sydney go, and a cross in. Tate Russell alert to the danger. Of opportunities down that right hand side through De Jesus for Sydney. Here's Yamamura back for Kanaizumi. Along to Dylan Ryan, who's continuing his run in the team at centre back. Duarte linking up with Scott. Goes to switch it for Sebastian Hernandez, who he's in a good position to try and run into the box, which he does. Gets a cross in, headed away, only as far as Mascivecchio. Camiggio clears that away. But Mascivecchio works hard to win it back. Good start from Wollongong this. Can they turn it into an early goal though? Scott. Second time he's been able to turn and finds Tate Russell, who decides to have a crack, and that is a superb save. Tate Russell willing to take that shot on, and that pocket of space is opening up for Wollongong. Hoofslut with the save. And a cracking save it was to tip that over the bar. Ball in again from Madden. Last one came out to Yamamura. This one headed on by Dylan Ryan. Here's Middleton, who's pushed it wide for De Jesus. Now the ball forwards, and here they come. Lacey switches the ball out for De Jesus, who's more than willing to get forwards in the early stages of this game, but Duarte's blocked that cross. Middleton now. Hernandez working back, but De Jesus gets a second opportunity. It's floated towards the far post, cut out by Tate Russell as Marcus Beattie can come away with it now. Here's Scott around the corner for Beattie, who can carry on, but will run out of room. Nice touch from McAllister. Throwing goes the Wolves' way. Early thrown for Masciavecchio, who can turn and play Duarte. Here's Russell. That ball a bit too direct and it's cut out. Glasson willing to press Ryan as Masciavecchio gets a touch in, but it's aggressive pressing from Sydney, but given up in the end. Foul from Lachlan Middleton. Here comes Tate Russell. Finds Beattie. Taken quickly. Yamamura alert to it against McAllister. Ryan plays it into the pocket for Scott, who gets a touch there. He's picking up the ball in some good areas there. Lachlan Scott helping create that link for the Wolves. Jesus headed towards Lacey, doesn't come off. Yamamura clipped in for Madden. Madden finds Beattie. Scott, first time for Madden. Goes for a cross towards Sebastian Hernandez. Hernandez fights to keep that ball against De Jesus. And it'll be another Wollongong throw. Defending from Samuel Lancaster back there. Now he's wrestling with Scott. Scott tries to play something neat, but it'll only come out. Tate Russell, good work to find Hernandez. Takes the shot on, but lacks the power to really trouble the goalkeeper. Here's Lacey. Lacey again, who had an outstanding game in this fixture last season. And I say this fixture, of course, playing here at Rockdale Illingdon Sports Centre due to the condition of the Wolves' home ground at Macedonia Park in the wet weather, which caused this game to be reversed. So that trip for Sydney FC will now come later in the year. And also probably give the Wolves a couple of home games in a row later on in the year, which could be some valuable momentum. Here's Glasson. Opportunity to play it forward towards McAllister, who's picked up great space and fires it over. Great chance for Sydney FC, though, and certainly the best they've created so far. Fresh off a couple of minutes for the senior Sydney FC side in the A-League last night. McAllister gets a start this afternoon. Only first chance. It's gone over the bar. Back with Hoofsloot. Here's Lancaster. What's now on the turn. Lacey. Good football from the home side. Corey Cronin plays it inside. Lacey takes over. Nice pass through the lines. They're building well here, McAllister. Cut out as Mashivecchio can take it away with Scott next up. Wide for Hernandez and an opportunity to run at Jared Middleton. Chooses to play it inside. Spin from Scott and holds on to the ball. That'll run away. Goal kick. Nice pass from Camacho wide for Cronin. Lacey running ahead. Here's Cronin. Camacho again as he picks it up once more. That ball's lofted into a nice area for McAllister, but Solsky smothers the opportunity. Sydney just starting to make their way into this game after a fast start from the Wolves. And they win a free kick in a good position. Lacey taken down. What will Sydney look to create from this set piece? Lacey, it looks like it could be a ball into the box. They've got a few numbers forwards, but can never rule out the shooting opportunity. It is a ball into the box towards the far post, out for McAllister, who's worked hard to keep that in. Still going McAllister and gets the ball into the box. Mashivecchio, good touch. Wide for Beattie and opportunity for a counter-attack now for Wollongong. Hernandez dropping back and plays it down the line for Beattie. A lot on that though. And it'll be recycled through Lancaster. And Jared Middleton. Camacho looking to switch it and finds DeJesus, who's picked up space again. Glasson with an early run into the box, but Duarte's cut it out. Uses the bounce and clears it away from danger. Here they go now, Sydney FC starting to take it up a few gears after taking control. DeJesus. Cross in, stood up, but Solsky catches. Here's Tate Russell. Pass into midfield for Madden. Keeps it moving for Scott. Nice turn from Scott and a good pass wide. BT. Scott will pick it up. Seen plenty of the ball, the striker, after didn't get much of it against Marconi or Harpia. Wide for Mascivecchio now. Good pass for Madden. Madden back to Mascivecchio into the box, but cleared away. Glasson can come the other way now. Nice work from Mitchell Glasson. Looks to pick out that pass from McAllister. A loose touch from Ryan. That's a shot that's been blocked, and Camijo worked hard to get to the ball first. That ball sails over the bar, though. Nice move from Glasson originally, though, to get around Kanaizumi. Lane continuing to come down here. It's on the synthetic surface, so no real danger of it being called off, but it will be something for the players to navigate. Here's Sebastian Hernandez racing into the box to hard work to run back there and get the interception for Sydney FC's defender, Farias. Ryan wins his head up, but that ball's over the top for Glasson, who's going to be flagged offside. Wollongong managed to play out of that press. Yamamura back for Russell. Now here comes Sydney FC having one possession back. Glasson uses De Jesus, and it's been something they've looked to exploit. Here's Lacey. Nice pass. Shot from Middleton, but can't find anyone. Hernandez. Rather inadvertent touch from Scott, but it almost worked out. Jared Middleton across on the cover. Collision there between Lachlan Middleton and Duarte. About midway through the first half now, and still 0-0. Chances both ways, though. The Wolves started quickly, but Sydney FC have since come into the game and are holding possession confidently. That ball is loose, though. be a throw-in on the far side, and Sydney have looked to press in these situations, but Wollongong have been reasonably solid at playing out. Here's another example of that through Scott. Wide for Tate Russell. Beattie is wider again. Russell will continue his run forwards. Scott. Back to Beattie. And chooses Lachlan Scott, who will get a cross in towards the far post. Masciavecchio will scoop it up. And we'll play on through Duarte. Ball not out. Here's Madden. And the free kick, Yamamura backs that away, but they'll get the opportunity from the free kick, Wollongong. Madden standing over it. Can Wollongong find the lead through this? Madden takes his time, and Hofslet spilled it, but get away with it, Sydney. And Andes wrestling with McAllister, and it'll be another free kick. Madden again across to take this one. Some pressure for the Wolves from set pieces. Again, this one taking a while to get set in motion. Madden now towards the near post. Kanaizumi couldn't get a touch, and Lacey clears it away. Beattie goes all the way back to Solsky, but they'll press Sydney, and some good numbers as well on the press, but Masciavecchio takes it away from Glasson to find Dylan Ryan over the top for Duarte. DeJesus trying to get a touch in, but Duarte does well. That ball's a little loose. Dylan Ryan takes the touch away from Lacey. Ryan's delivery over Madden. Sydney looking to play out. Eventually decide to get rid of it. Tate Russell brings it down. Nice ball towards Lachlan Scott. One more. Here's Masciavecchio. Fires in the opening goal. And it's Wollongong who grab the lead. Been building pressure from set pieces and take advantage of Sydney's attempted build-up out of the back. And a good finish in the end from Masciavecchio. With what is his first goal of the season, and just the Wolves' third goal of the year. More pressure Kanaizumi. Collision that will play on. Glasson looks to get a touch in. Mashivecchio can't hold on to it. And he stayed down here, Mashivecchio. And here comes Sydney though. Ball towards McAllister. Couldn't control it. Mashivecchio was a reasonably sure source of goals last year. He picked up 8 in what was a productive year for him. He's most productive in Wolves colours. We'll have a bit of a different tone now to it this game than the fixture between these two last season. The 2-2 draw with Wollongong coming from a couple of goals down to grab a last second equaliser. Here's Lacey. Ball in. There's options here for Cronin to produce something. Lofts towards Solsky, who gets his hands on it. Sydney waiting for that first pass before they choose to press, but they've cut that one out. Michael Middleton gets a touch in as Glasson's wide. De Jesus back for Joe Lacey, who's been given the freedom to float around all across midfield. Awkward one for him now. Scott trips. Scott in firmly and wins the throw in. Scott in firmly once again, and this time he will be spoken to. It's his second foul in a couple of minutes. That one leaving a bit of a mark on Lacey. And looks like need a bit of an equipment check or some kind of treatment here for Camijo as the rain starts to bucket down. Looks like there's a bit of blood there for the midfielder. And it is chucking it down now. Here at Rockdale. Really sustained rain. Here's Madden. Madden through. Not a bad pass. Mashivecchio. Hoofsloot gets in a good touch, but they're still got to try and play out. Cut out by Yamamura. Here comes Tate Russell with a shot. That one rolls past the post harmlessly. Alex Mashivecchio, the goal scorer, former Sydney FC academy player. Knows this ground well from his time at Rockdale as well. Finds a goal against his former side. Yamamura, nice touches, and still holds on to it. Great composure to find Scott. Unorthodox control, but not bad. And fall, though, the way of Cronin. Good pressure from Madden. Collision between Hernandez and Lacey, who handles. I believe for the original collision between himself and the Wolves number 11. Russell plays it quickly for Madden. Back for Russell. Here's Hernandez. Masivecchio, tough one to control, and Glasson has a chance to break forwards. Options to his right if he can pick them out. Good tackle, though, from Duarte, and Madden comes the other way. Scott. Lachlan Scott still going. Couldn't find Beattie or Hernandez. Couple of juniors from the Illawarra football scene in Sydney FC colours as well. De Jesus and Hufslet. Free kick Sydney FC's way, though, and maybe a chance for them to gather their composure after going behind. They were looking promising before conceding the goal. Now I've had a couple of rocky moments. Yamamura given away. Glasson, here's an opportunity, finds Cronin wide. Can Izumi cross to read the danger? Yamamura around the corner. Hernandez, good battle with Middleton, and Glasson can keep going. Tate Russell takes control. Ryan, space for Madden down the line. Arias gets across. Here's a chance to press for Sydney. It's Cronin who slips and will play on. Wide for Glasson. Glasson finds Lacey, or rather Middleton. Here's Lacey, clipped over the top. They've looked to find those pockets of space in between the Wolves backline and midfield, or go straight in behind. All this time, Kamijo remains off the field. Looks like it's a bit of a nosebleed situation for him. But Sydney have been playing with 10. That's probably not helped the nature of Wollongong's resurgence after scoring. Mijo now back on the field, so Sydney back up to the full complement. Madden on for Scott. Wide now finds Tate Russell. Beattie will struggle to keep that in, but does so. Can pressure Cronin, who's been forced into the corner. Gets it down the line. Tate Russell takes control. Once again, here's Madden. Nice interplay. One more for Tate Russell with a shot off the post. Masivecchio misses it. Scott blocked, but it was an offside initially. Tate Russell in a very advanced position. Tate Russell, who's been getting sharper. That's the former A-League player. Brings a real degree of quality to that Wollongong backline. Kamijo, pass over the top. Jesus. Kanaizumi has one out. McAllister wrestles with Duarte. That's passed out by Mashivecchio. Good pressure from the home side. Middleton. Cross comes in, but Solski gets his hands on the ball and can play out Tate Russell, who's been an outlet for Wollongong. Here's Dylan Ryan back to Solski. Kanaizumi picks it up. Plays in for Scott. Wollongong have had very limited troubles playing out, which has helped them get up the field, something that against Marconi at home they struggled to do and ended up coughing up the goal that lost them the game. Here's Mashivecchio into the box. Hit away. Duarte's header. Yamamura showing that composure in midfield that's so crucial to this Wollongong team. Here's Russell. Wide for Madden. Tate Russell looks for an option and goes back to Yamamura. In for Madden. That ball over hit for Russell though. Now 5 regular first half minutes to play. Wollongong leading the game 1-0. Mashivecchio's goal. Duarte, who's done well at left back as well. But this could be an interesting situation. Given away and played wide. Here comes McAllister. Glasson in the box. McAllister still going. Knocks it back. Pulling towards Glasson. Good touch. Tries to take it away from Russell, but the defender was aware of what was going on. Here's Beattie. Looks down the line for Hernandez. Good flick on header for Scott. Looks to roll out of trouble and wins the free kick. Rain has just started to ease now, ahead of the halftime break. It'll be a free kick. It's been a strong first half performance this from Wollongong. Get the reward of a goal. Now they'll look to double it ahead of half-time. Yamamura goes for the strike. Slurt has palmed it away, and they'll keep going. Sydney, that ball not out of play. McAllister combines with Lacey. Lacey battles for it, but Yamamura's come away with it. Finds Tate Russell. Neat work from the fullback and carries on his run. Kanaizumi. Brilliant volleyed pass out for Hernandez. Beattie under pressure. And it wins the throw in. Referee has given the signal for how long additional time will be to the fourth official, who's preparing the board now. Still a couple of minutes away from that stoppage time announcement as Wollongong hold possession. Here's Russell, clipped down the line for Scott. Nice touch from Scott. Finds Madden. Can carry on for Duarte. Wide is Masciavecchio. Shifts it inside to find Madden. Masciavecchio finds Duarte. Driven in and out for a goal kick. Another good passage of play though. Sydney have managed to play out on this occasion. Here's McAllister. Ball in behind for De Jesus. Opportunity again to cross. Cut back only finds Dylan Ryan. The game becoming a little stretched in these final stages of the first half. Glasson trying to battle back, but that pass has made it to Beattie. Scott back to Russell. Here's Duarte. Space for Scott, who's just dropping off and picking it up in that pocket, making a real menace of himself. Here's Hernandez. Plays it through, but Lancaster can clear it away. Lacey looks to control, tries to play it on. Kanaizumi has the ball. Looks like it'll be a couple of minutes added on, which is confirmed now. So 2 minutes for Wollongong to navigate to get a half-time lead, and a couple of minutes for Sydney to grab an equaliser ahead of the second half. Yamamura plays it in for Hernandez. Nice flick for Duarte, who breaks into the box. Duarte, and another sensational save from Hoofsloot. Couple of those now that he's been forced to tip over the top of the bar. One from Tate Russell early on in the game, that one from Duarte. Both fullbacks happy to get into advanced positions and are looking threatening as well. A minute of the game, the first half to play. Madden towards the far post. Kanaizumi did get his head to the ball, but rather hit him than in making any purposeful contact. McAllister fouled by Madden. Here's De Jesus, who's playing in a more advanced position on the right. Lacey, cross in. Solski comes and claims confidently, and that'll be half-time. Wollongong with a narrow lead over Sydney FC. Alex Masciavecchio's goal. We'll be back in a little over 10 minutes' time for the second half.
Mine barely did.
Yeah, your poor umbrella was struggling.
Yeah, I think it's time to get a new one.
Maybe.
Oh.
See, the thing is, I did sneak in
Oh, when I came in, there was no one at the
and they're not
gates.
charging. Okay.
No.
So then just this one.
That's me too. One arm's like dripping and the other's dry as hell. Oh man. Do I risk running to my car?
I think so.
I have a jacket in the car. And I also want to put my watch away because I have a bad feeling. Yeah,
Welcome back for the second half here at Rockdale London Sports Centre. It's 1-0 to the Wolves over Sydney FC. As we get into the second half, Alex Maschivecchio's early goal, it was midway through the half, that is proving the difference at the moment. The former Sydney FC youngster. There's the ball for Kanaizumi to cut out and can now switch it wide for Maschivecchio. Farias wins his head up. Lancaster's touch, but they hold on to it here, Sydney. Farias looking for a ball in behind. Here's De Jesus, who that ball's going to run away from. It was a good half from the Wolves overall, though. They started well, had a middle part of the game where it looked like Sydney FC were going to take control, but then grabbed the lead. Some good pressing. From the Wolves, and a strong finish as well from Wollongong. But here's Glasson wide towards De Jesus. That one's running out again. Camijo. Cut out as Sydney FC get another throw in. Lacey. Here's Scott. There were options forwards for Wollongong. Yamamura finds Beatty. Wide now is Tate Russell, who was a constant threat down the right side for the Wolves in the first half. Here's Farias. Sebastian Duarte down the other side for the Wolves was also a threat and came close to doubling the advantage not long before the break. Duarte forwards for Lachlan Scott, brings it down nicely, and it's wide for Hernandez. Hernandez goes for a cross. It's fallen for Lachlan Scott, still there. Plays it for Beatty, who gets a shot. Hoofsluit has caught that. Camijo looking to try and find something to get Sydney FC started in this one. Farias back. Nice touch from Lancaster. This is sharp play. That ball in behind for De Jesus. Dylan Ryan across. Now there has been a change for Sydney FC. Tay Headley has come into the midfield. In place of Lachlan Middleton. So a straight swap in the middle of the park, but looks like Lacey will be playing a little deeper and Headley can step into a more advanced role. Here's Madden through for Hernandez, who's in an onside position. Hernandez with a shot, it'll fall for Lachlan Scott. That one rolls again to Hufslet. It's not a bad opportunity for Lachlan Scott to end his goalless run in 2026. Still awaiting his first goal of the year. De Jesus towards Glasson. That'll come out the back though to Corey Cronin. Hiju tried to find McAllister, but it didn't come off. Here's Masciavecchio. Flynn Madden looking to carry on. The free kick will be brought back though for the challenge from Lacey. Sebastian Duarte down the line. Duarte again. Madden finds it for Hernandez. Lovely work from Sebastian Hernandez. Into the box he goes. Still with Hernandez. It'll spin away. And kept in well by Corey Cronin. Lovely bit of skill from Hernandez to get past Farias. That's a pullback from Madden, and that will be the first yellow card of the game. But they keep it going quickly here, Sydney FC. Glasson. De Jesus, that touch gets away from him, and he won't be able to keep it in. Lacey's won that ball high up the field, showing a real tenacity there, and Masciavecchio comes away with it now. Camijo. Back for Lacey. Beatty tries to find Scott down the line. In a race with Jared Middleton, and he's one out. Here comes Lachlan Scott forwards now. He's got Hernandez across, but he can take it himself as well. That shot, again, lacking the power to trouble Hufslet, but an important save nonetheless. Sebastian Duarte down the line for Sebastian Hernandez. Here's Hernandez. Yamamura forwards for Masciavecchio. Or rather, it was Marcus Beatty. Here's Masciavecchio getting back in, though. Ryan, nice pass to find Madden. Happy to be patient, Wollongong. They have the lead at the moment. Sydney FC chasing the game, have made that one change. Tay Headley coming into attacking midfield, and Lacey dropping a little deeper. They'll need a bit more if they are to find a route back into this game. McAllister leaves a bit in there on Duarte, but will play on. Scott, wide for Tate Russell. Clipped in for Yamamura. That's a nice touch from the midfielder. Jesus gets a foot in. Cronin keeps it in. A bit of an incident here. Dylan Ryan on Mitchell Glasson. The free kick's gone the Wolves' way, but there'll be some treatment. Will be a conversation for Lachlan Scott to come back and chat to the referee about that discussion with the assistant referee. Looks like this is going to be dealt with a clear conversation. But it will be a red card the way of Dylan Ryan. And it'll leave Wollongong with 10 to play. Well, the captain was brought into it, but it means the Wolves are down to 10. Very much after that discussion between the assistant referee and the referee, but Wollongong will have to adjust. Rather an air of stun around the ground, but we'll see how Wollongong adjust. And it'll also be a question over the restart as to where it occurred or the nature of the free kick. It looks like it's Wollongong's way, but they're also the team with a player down. Wollongong look to be in a control position, and it will be Yamamura, who's more than capable of playing in that central defensive position, who's going to sit back there. Marcus Beattie will come into a more central position, leaving the front three of Mashavecchio, Scott and Hernandez. So no changes from the Wolves, but looking forwards, a red card as well. Certainly not going to help them with their defensive setup, given they're already a centre-back light with Dax Kelly still injured. And Harrison Bunel, who didn't sign for the start of this year with Wollongong, so they'll have to figure something out for next week, but for now they've got the lead, so it'll be about battling, and it'll be a yellow card the way of Scott. Joe Lacey there, copping a hit from Scott. Now Sydney FC have the initiative though, with an extra player. Here's Lancaster. Back for Lacey, who's been pulling the strings and will continue to do so, especially with a bit more space now. Here comes Hernandez the other way, but Lacey fights back and gets it. Here's De Jesus, tries to play that for Headley, but that'll run away. And Lacey in strong, and it's another yellow card. It appears that red card from the referee has really stepped up the intensity between them. Yamamura, who was having a great game in midfield, will step a bit further back. As mentioned, he's more than capable of doing it through for Glasson. Offside flag is raised. Glasson, nice touch. Here's Camijo to come forwards. One more for Lacey. Challenge with Russell. And it'll be another free kick there. Lacey winning a few of those over the last few minutes. As Sydney FC look to prepare a couple of changes. Ball whipped in by Lacey. It's not a bad one, but Lancaster heads wide. Well, coming off will be Zachary De Jesus and Mateus McAllister, Jordan Grarowski, and Nicholas Alfaro will come on. So those are the changes for Sydney FC, a pair of attacking ones at that. Alfaro, who has been on the score sheet recently. Against SD Raiders on the opening night of the season. Soon after coming on as a substitute, in fact. So can he have a similar impact here? Looks as if there's another couple of changes coming for Sydney FC, so they're going to empty their bench, or at least the substitutes they can make. Nicholas Calder is coming on, as is Tyler Williams. Ray Farias off, as is Samuel Lancaster. So they're going to go for this game. It looks as if they'll play with a back three for the last 25 minutes of this game, as we see Wollongong preparing a change. And it's an early foul, and well, given the number of cautions that we've had, surprised to not see one given there, with Scott set to break in behind, but nonetheless it'll be a free kick for Wollongong, and set pieces will be important for them in terms of a route for a second goal in this game. Still plenty to play though, and with 10 players they'll have to try and find something in attack so they're not forced to defend for the majority of this second half. Madden drifted in, headed away. Tay Headley clears it further back with Solsky now. Solsky forwards for Tate Russell. Lacey wins out. And Gorowski's shot, but Solsky, it's a big save. Calls for a potential foul, but it will be a sub. And it's going to be Lachlan Scott to come off, who's put in a shift up front. And will be Felipe D'Agostini to come on, who's still waiting to hit the ground running. It'd be a great chance for him to do something. Looks like they're going to look to provide a real threat in behind with Hernandez now and D'Agostini, Mashivecchio either side. Of course, all with the context that Wollongong have only got 10 players on the field after that red card for Dylan Ryan. That's given away though. Mashivecchio finds BT. Couldn't find one more for D'Agostini. There's Sebastian Duarte. Solsky clears it up the field, but it'll spin all the way back. That's a collision there. It'll be a yellow card. We heard the contact with Marcus Beattie on his face. Nicholas Alfaro, the free kick goes against, and he'll pick up a yellow card as well. Looks like Beattie will be okay though. D'Agostini finds Duarte. Madden's header. Ball out of play. Down the line they go. Duarte's header first. Gwarowski can't get a control of the ball. Lacey. Wollongong still able to keep a hold of the ball. Even with the 10 plays, but it's given up. Ball spread wide, offside flag up. In terms of changes on the bench for Wollongong as they try to see this game out. Mostly young players, but young players who have had some effective cameos and have shown glimpses of quality on the bench. That's offside against Glasson. Yamamura's clearance down the line. Solski takes his time, but Gwarowski with some contact, and that's going to be the nature of the game now. With any form of contact, there's going to be questions about whether action needs to be taken. Free kick for Wollongong, and they've done well to just break up the momentum of this game in a time where the momentum looked to be going Sydney FC's way with the red card. Here's Yamamura. Good ball towards Kanaizumi. Masciavecchio. Agostini gets the touch. Wide for Glasson, who's been pushed onto the right side as Sydney look to accommodate more attackers, claiming a handball as it gets smashed into him from a very close distance. Here's Lacey. Gwarowski, Lacey, wide for Glasson, goes for a cross in. It's not a bad one, but over the head of Tay Headley. Corner for Sydney. Ball in towards the near post. It's come all the way through, but it'll go for another corner. Solski's grabbed it. Nothing forwards for him though, with Wollongong defending with 10. Another corner. And, well, on these set pieces, it's not a bad one again, but on these set pieces, they're looking to try and put someone on the goalkeeper, and when they have as many numbers in the box, Wollongong might not have a player spare to help Daniel Solski out. Solski willing to take his time, and given the context, it probably makes sense. That ball will float away from Duarte. He wasn't keen to get that there. Demonstrable of the nature of what the Wolves' task is with 10 players. Here's Lacey. Duarte cuts it out. Duarte still going. Tries to find a ball in behind for Hernandez. Izumi takes it away, wide for Hernandez. He'll get there first, and, well, is that going to be a penalty? It is! Big moment for the Wolves. And this is a big moment for Wollongong. From the spot, questions over who'll step up. It will be Yamamura. Lacey having a conversation with the veteran midfielder, trying to put off a man who's won plenty in his career. Not sure how effective that will be. Huge moment for Gus Hufslitz as well, who could make a save that would be a huge difference to keeping his team in with a chance. This is perhaps the decisive moment of this game. Here's Yamamura. Takes his time and calmly rolls it home. No signs of any sort of pressure. And that is huge. Wollongong, 2 goals to the good now. And Sydney FC with it all to do. Still, though, only 10 players on the field for Wollongong. And there's chances in this game still. And we're looking good again before the concession of that second goal, just like the first, really. Perhaps against the run of play in both moments of the game, but they could do with a quick one now in response. Here's Lacey. Flips it in towards Glasson, and it's a shot from Headley. Offside. It was the substitute, Nicholas Calder, who conceded the penalty on Hernandez. But it was that pocket of space in between the centre-back and the wing-back that Hernandez was able to exploit and get into the box. Yeah, Agostini can't bring it down. Spins out, and now they can try to get forwards. Gwarowski chasing. Tate Russell doesn't muck around with it. Puts it behind for the throw-in. Yamamura's second goal of the season. Scored the winner against NSW in round 2 at Macedonia Park and has made an impact here. Here's a chance. Nicholas Alfaro sprinting forwards, and that spinning deflection almost caused problems for Solski, but he holds on. Lacey. And here's the opportunity for Hernandez. D'Agostini's on if he can pick him out, but he'll choose to run again at Calder. Collision, and they'll keep going though. Here's Russell. Good hold up from Russell to find Beattie. And still with Russell. Tate Russell, he's not got too many on. Here's Glasson through the middle. Duarte, big challenge, but it's through for Gwarowski, who can run in on goal. One-on-one with Solski. What a save again from Solski. Yeah. In the one-on-one situation. Big moment from Solski. Saving the one-on-one against Gwarowski. It was an unfortunate deflection, really, and the striker demonstrating the pace that he has. And that's a good win from Middleton, but it's a foul. We're into the final 10 minutes of the second half, and it looks like the Wolves are preparing another change. Lukas Trajcevski, he's been getting a few cameos off the bench. Masciavecchio tried to play it forwards for Hernandez. Kajimo looks to play it forwards. Corey Cronin back to the midfielder. Headed away by D'Agostini, who's back there defending and gets a foot in as well. Lacey. Kanaizumi's header. Back out for Cronin. Ball in the box. Middleton's header will bounce wide. Referee going to have a word with Kanaizumi here, but nothing doing, and as expected, there's a quick conversation with the goalkeeper. They were trying to keep the game moving in these last 5 regular minutes, plus whatever stoppages we will have. It also looks like Liam Ball will come on for Wollongong. So a couple of changes for the away side in what remains. Here's Glasson. Calder. That pass a little loose, and Hofslut has almost coughed it up, and Cronin's touch. Beatty tries to keep that in, but now we'll see the substitutions. It'll be Masciavecchio for Liam Ball. And the other change is going to be Sebastian Hernandez to come off for the last seconds of this game. And that will be the last couple of changes. So some fresh legs up front for Wollongong. And a free kick. Yellow card for Trajcevski, literally less than a minute after coming on. Headley for Glasson. D'Agostini with a firm challenge. Can Sydney FC mount a late comeback? It was the Wolves that performed the late comeback in this fixture last season. Can they return the favour? That's a little loose. Beatty plays it down the line. Trajcevski will be given something to chase, but gets back into the shape quickly. All forwards. Yamamura comes across to deal with it. Here's Lacey. Kajimo as Lacey's ball in. Slight nudge there, but Wollongong get away with it. Not enough contact as Madden takes over. Nearly in the incidental path. According to the referee, that incident, that would have made it an interesting finish. Trajcevski battling for it. Ball and Lacey. Free kick goes Sydney's way. Here's wide for Glasson, who's flagged offside. Solskjaer to step up for this set piece. Just a little over a minute of regular time to play. Wollongong leading the game 2 goals to the good. Good shielding. And Sydney will look to get started. And ball chasing it down. Cronin takes a step inside. Finds Lacey. Looking for passes forwards. It's nice, intricate play, and he'll win the free kick. Tyler Williams. He's slotted into that reshaped backline for Sydney. Nice passage down the right, and a set piece opportunity for the home side. Cronin. That ball's lobbed forwards, could cause problems, but Solskjaer makes no mistake. As we find out, there'll be 5 additional minutes. Looks like he will need some treatment. Tate Russell. And Wollongong will prepare their final change. Ryan Lowe. Looks as if it will be potentially Tate Russell to come off. And he's still down. As the rain restarts. Here in Rockdale. You'd expect Marcus Beattie to slot in at right back for the remaining minutes of this one. And it's a nasty one for Tate Russell. Looks like it'll be Ryan Lowe, in fact, to occupy the right back slot for the remaining seconds. Williams back for Kajimo, who deals with the pressure. Here's Cronin. Wide for Middleton, but it's given away. Trojsevski looks to get a touch in. Williams deals with it. Forwards they go, direct they go, and the offside flag goes up. The Wolves line has been pretty solid in this second half, especially as the direct balls forward have increased in volume. Here's Ryan Lowe's throw in. Goes towards Trojsevski. One back by Sydney as they try to play it out, which they have done successfully. Lacey gets it moving quickly for Glasson. And D'Agostini with the foul, but they'll keep playing. Lacey hacks it over the top for Gorowski, who's in an onside position, and Yamamura clears it from the goal area. Now they come the other way, Wollongong. Ball in strongly, and the free kick goes against the Wollongong Wolves player. Here's Williams. Final seconds of this game. Glasson. Ball will come away with it. And it's cleared away. Lacey, the furthest back for Sydney. Here's Tyler Williams. For Tay Headley. D'Agostini gets back. It'll be a corner. Headley's ball in. Driven towards the far post. It's going to come all the way out to the far side. Skajimo, cross in, cleared away by Beatty. Williams, Glasson, good touch from Glasson, plays it wide for Headley, ball into the box, it's saved by Solski but poked home, and this will be an interesting finish now. Sydney with a goal back. I think that was Grarowski with the goal. A pretty congested penalty area, but they have a goal back, Sydney, and it'll be a foul, and that'll be a yellow card as well. Calder with the yellow card. And we're eating into now that stoppage time that was amassed with Tate Russell's injury. Madden tries to play it forwards for ball. Madden. That'll be a free kick. And it'll be full time. Wollongong claim a narrow win in a tense and drama-filled game against Sydney FC. It was Alex Maschivecchio who got the scoring started going into half-time. And then Dylan Ryan's red card made it an interesting finish. And Sebastian Hernandez being fouled and Yamamura converting a penalty for Wollongong to give them a 2-goal lead. Goal in the dying embers from Gordon Grarowski made it a nervy final few seconds, but they get over the line in the end. And it's a win for Wollongong. My name is Tim Gibson. Thank you for tuning in.